I know where there's some, right here in the hall, clerk.
No, Molly, not in there. I have
Hi, welcome back to the Continental Model M500 4-tube super heterodyne tri-battery powered blah blah blah. It says all that right here on the schematic. Okay, where are we? I've dismounted this switch. This is the earphone jack, as you will recall, and got some deoxit up in there. And it looks like it's working okay. This wasn't transferring power to the output tube. So now the thing to do is to tackle the on-off switch, which also doesn't seem to be working, and the volume pot, which is down here. So I've labeled all of the wires. This on-off switch, you probably can't see, and maybe you can see that B right there. But these are labeled A, B, C, D, which is very handy. And I've labeled the wires appropriately. So now it's time to desolder those. An interesting thing about the difference between this radio and the older generation, American radios that I've worked on is right here. There's no effort to mechanically anchor the wires in this thing. They're shoved through a hole and soldered on one side. So it's very quickly done. And that's not to say it's of poor quality. I think it's not. But it's a different pace. Post-war, they stopped doing that pretty much. Zenith carried on for a few more years. This is from 1954, as I recall. And the point was, after the war, to get things out the door as fast as you could. And taking that wire right there and wrapping it a couple of times around that post wasn't going to make it go out any faster. It might be more reliable, but it's not fast manufacturing, post-war manufacturing, style manufacturing. So anyway, I'll unsolder these, and then I'll unsolder these three wires for the volume pot as well, and then we'll pull this out and take a look and see what we've got. Okay, I have all the wires unsoldered, desoldered, whatever you wish to call it. Now I'll take the green volume knob off. That screw right there. Where's my little screwdriver? Here it is. Ugh. And then this will come off with that nut. Oh man, you really twerked that down on there. Oh, it just slides out. That's handy. There it is. Set this over there. And this is a, what is it? 100 puff cap across here. Oh yeah, it says 100 PF. 100 puff, just like I said. This is supposed to be a 1 meg ohm potentiometer. So let's see what it measures as out of circuit. I was just looking to see, that looks like it's bent down, almost touching the, oh, almost touching itself. That's okay. I wonder why they're bent like that. Well, there's not much room in that case. Okay, let's see what it says. 838 megohms, so that's not bad. I'll leave that one probe in place and grab this middle wiper. There. Yeah, it's really gummy. It just feels like it's turning into sludge, which it probably is. Okay, well, we'll take this part next and see what's what. So let's take this apart. 5 tabs. And I hope I don't break any of them. All right. It's just really hard to turn. There's the on-off mechanism down in there. And the tabs for the on-off switch are internal to the volume. Let's take this nut off here and get this the rest of the way apart. Just reminding myself of the orientation of that plate so that I don't put it back in correctly. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I'm not seeing, this isn't coming apart as easily as I thought it should. This pin comes down here, up through the phenolic, across here, back down, across here, and back up and around the shaft of this shaft. Look at that. It looks like they made provisions for it to come out. Or maybe not. No, I don't see any. Well. Alright, so what we can do is swab off the carbon layer for the resistor and do a little deoxide on there. As for making this the stiffness that I'm feeling, it has nothing to do with how this rubs on the carbon layer, but rather is in the shaft itself, like up in here. I don't see any way of that coming apart either. So I'll have to get the lube of some kind, some WD-40 or something up in there, to see if I can loosen that up, because it's really stiff. Very curious. In fact, I can hear it squeaking. Yeah, so it's rotating on the center pin. Funny. Well, let's see what a squirt of deoxit does up in there. Oh, that helped a lot. Suddenly it's rotating. Okay, let me grab a swab. And give this a bit of a wipe down. It's pretty black. Pretty corroded or dirty, or both. All right. Put this plate and nut back on and see if we have better continuity than we did before. Fukushima. Stiffened right up again. And that's loose again. It's loose in some places. Must be some gunk still up in there. Let me tighten this down.
And then we'll spray some more deoxit. See if that helps. Nope, still gunky.
It could be a design feature. I don't know that it isn't. It's just a high friction turn. Hard to bump, I guess. Let's see if we have improved action from the potentiometer. One side of the wiper. Now it's acting like a potentiometer. Sort of. Oh, may have gone off the... And you might be asking yourself why an analog meter. And the reason is the other meter, the digital meter, has auto ranging, and it's not very fast. It's not a high-end Fluke. by any stretch of the imagination. Okay. Well, that would mean, that would mean I need to be on the right range. Yeah, see, it's very, as long as you don't touch it, it kind of works. But that means some nasty, open. That's all the way this way. At the lower end, it's just really fidgety. I'll swap this to the other side of the graphite. Same thing here. And I'm not at the end of the wipe, or the wiper's not at the end of the track either. Okay, what I'll do is I will take this nut back off, clean this with some WD-40 in a cotton ball. WD-40, in spite of common thinking, is not a lubricant. It's a cleaner. It's a solvent, and it dissolves a lot of stuff. So I will get some WD-40 and clean that track off and see if we can improve the performance of this a little bit. All right, what I've done is cleaned the wiper with WD-40, or not the wiper, the graphite track with WD-40, and then followed by an alcohol bath, then more application of the deoxit. I also noticed that the wipers, there are two wipers, were uneven, so I re-sprung those a bit to see if I could even that up. So let's see if we made any progress here. Put that on the wiper. This on one side. Still has a dead zone right there. The top end is not bad. Oh, top end looking from this side. Let's switch these two around. And it's still in that same area of the graphite, right there. My inclination is to try it. See if that shows up. If it doesn't correct the problem, or if it exhibits too many bad characteristics, I'll have to replace this, because it's clearly got a bad section of the graphite. All right, on to the switch.
The makers of Johnson's Wax.